rebuilding. The catastrophic failure, a new start. Physically, mentally, our careers, our businesses. Step back, first step, next step. The driver in me just wants to get it done tomorrow. We'll do this, do that, let's move this, where are we at with this? You build some confidence, build some self-esteem, start to feel better about yourself. The Silverback Blueprint Podcast, a show for men over 40 who focus on getting stronger, staying motivated, building discipline, creating a community, and becoming truly happy. Hey guys, welcome back to the Silverback Blueprint Podcast, episode 24. Today I want to talk about some cool stuff that happened just this past weekend. We held a bench press competition over at Hostile, a bench only, and it's always one of my favorite meets to run overall. I love the bench press. Anyone who knows me knows I'm big into the bench press. That's kind of my identity and stuff. So God forbid that ever goes into the shitter, because then I'm like, why am I on this planet? You know. So some cool stuff. A couple things that I love seeing happening is, people competing for the first time, people, committing to something, training towards something, getting up on that platform. It always sounds woo when you say it, that, it's the competition that makes the big difference, not how you place and stuff, and it does make a big difference. So many people are out there are afraid to try things and go after what they want to do. So I always say, listen, the moment you commit to something and you walk up on that platform or up on that stage or up on, onto that field, you're ahead compared to most people out there, because you're actually putting it all on the line, and you learn and grow from that. But what was really sharp is I was sitting at we call it the head table, where we're running the computer and tracking all everyone's results and attempts and stuff. So I was the MC, working the microphone, and to my left was a big screen. We had a big screen and a projector showing the results and where we were and stuff. And what I really, really thought was sharp is when I looked over, we had 27 lifters, I believe. 33 had signed up. You always get the no-shows, people who bail out and stuff like that because they're not ready to face that. And that's a natural thing, and it happens. But when I looked up at the names, I saw a lot of guys and girls, 40, 44, 45, a couple of 50-year-olds. I think one guy was 52. And to me, that's exciting. Obviously, with this podcast, we're talking, to guys over 40 about rebuilding themselves. So obviously, I feel like I'm reaching out and getting, the message out about, once you're this over 40, it's not time to quit. In fact, it's time to ramp shit up and get things going. And I think what was really powerful is there was a lot of first-time lifters over 40, and, we struggle with, what are we going to do now? We struggle with, being stuck in a rut, not feeling the greatest. Our health is poor. Our stress levels are high. We're Netflixing for hours and hours, till 2 or 3 in the morning. And really what we're doing is we're just trying to deal with the stress and the pressure and the unhappiness that's filling us. So to be able to turn around and channel that into something super positive and go after that competitiveness and just truly feel that, you're out there and you're a warrior, you're going after something and you're putting it on the line and you're training towards something, I think is super magical and super powerful. And if we look at a lot of sports, we're seeing more and more guys and girls are playing competitive into their 40s. We see that now in baseball and in football. I'm sure in basketball. I don't follow basketball, so I really don't know what the hell's going on there. But, in the sports I do follow, we're seeing athletes being competitive much later in their careers. And it's not an accident. It doesn't happen just because they're gifted. I mean, they're gifted obviously at that level. But what we're seeing is those guys are putting the time and the work, the extra work behind the scenes to maintain that level of competency and skill and physicality. So at the end of the day, sometimes, is it just, numbers? If they play 5 more years in the pros, they make another 2, 3, 5, 10, $20 million. I'm sure that's a factor, but I honestly think that for someone to get to that level and anything they do, they're truly doing it, like I said earlier, with the bench, is because they love it. It's a passion. It's, where they're happiest. It's their identity. So who wouldn't want to prolong that? Who wouldn't want to try to spend 5 more years being, competitive and, pursuing your happiness and what you're fulfilled by doing and stuff? I don't think we truly see a lot of, guys that, are doing stuff later in their life that are doing it for any other reason than the fact that they love it so much, right? And I think there's a point where we recognize that to keep doing this, we need to work on the back end, the behind the scenes, the shit that nobody sees, right? You know, one thing is when you're at the competition and you're competing and whatever it is, for example, with the bench meet on Saturday, it's awesome. Everyone's there. They're cheering you on. Most people don't even know what weight you're lifting up there, but they see you out there. And when you're starting to do your lift, the whole room's, cheering and clapping, and they see you struggling. They get motivated. And, that's an awesome feeling to be part of and to get, the adrenaline and stuff. So, why wouldn't you want to be there? But to get there, especially as we get older, it's the stuff we do when no one's looking, the stuff we do consistently. So a lot of those guys that were competing for the first time, they got the bug, they love training, they want to try it. The moment they sign up for something, the moment you commit to something, you're going to delve into it at a higher level. You're going to commit to it at a much higher level. You drew a line in the sand, you put it out there, you dropped your money, whatever it takes to cause that trigger. Now every workout means something. Every meal has a potential effect on your success. And that's why I always encourage guys to compete in something and do something as competitive possible, because it just dials your shit in. It makes you look at the other aspects. Look around. If you're in the gym and you're working hard because you've got some real goals and you're trying to lose a certain amount of weight. We talked earlier about how the bigger the why that you have as to what you're doing, the more successful you're going to be, because it means more to you, so you're going to do more. So once you have that, once you're lucky enough to create that for yourself, you'll know for yourself that you're taking it to the next level when you're training. You're taking it to the next level with consistency. While you're in the middle of that, look around and you'll see so many people that are just going through the motions. They're at the gym. They're doing it. We're talking about the gym here. So, they're at the gym, they're working out and stuff. And that's better than, surfing the couch and Netflixing. Absolutely. But look at the effort they're putting in. Look at the focus they're putting in. Most of them have gotten to the point where, hey, I do this, this is good for me. And, sometimes they're just going through the motions. They could raise the weight 10 more pounds. They could squeeze a fifth set in. They could shorten the rest and bring it up a bit. But most people get caught up in that. They're on their fucking phones. They're chatting, for 20 minutes between sets, all that stuff. So yes, they're not sitting around being lazy, but at the same token, they're not really taking full advantage of that time slot and that opportunity to really get the most out of that workout or that goal. So that's why for me, when I see guys, commit to something at the next level, it's exciting, because I know the challenges and I know the things that are going to change, right? Because they have to. You've put yourself, I don't like using the term back to yourself into a corner, but you've definitely put some more pressure on yourself, which is fantastic. And again, you can't help but feel accomplished when you come out of an event. So when I was watching these guys, you get 3 attempts in the bench press, and some of the guys, got all 3 lifts. Some guys got 1 or 2. Some of them are new, so they had some technical issues. Always a learning experience. But every one of those guys over 40, and a couple girls over 40 as well, they came out of there you could tell they were feeling great about themselves. They might have been disappointed in a lift or 2, but at the end of the day, they just spent a great day among inspiring people doing something they love, and they're even more motivated to get to the next level. Really sharp. I had a couple guys competing in this bench meet that at the last meet we had didn't do as well as they wanted in the bench. So I heard a lot of words like redemption and going back after it and getting it. And you know what? Seeing those guys hit that weight that they missed 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, to see that look in their eyes when you could tell, they feel that accomplishment, that's incredible. And that's really what we need to do is, surround ourselves and put ourselves in those situations where we can go after goals, we can conquer challenges, because that's what builds more courage and more self-esteem, more self-respect that we've talked about. And that's all part of that rebuilding process, is doing that. So, it just doesn't happen by accident, right? The more you can do things with a purpose and a system, like anything in life, the more you're going to achieve overall. Right. And what a great way to spend Saturday among other people, among your peers, everyone, like I said, motivating, everyone talking about their training, everyone just happy to be there. And then I know for a fact, I got guys that, spend Saturdays, laying on the couch doing fuck all. Right. And I'll guarantee you, they're not fucking happy and they're not fulfilled. Right. So it's out there. You just got to do it. And I don't give a shit if you play darts. I don't care if you play softball, if you golf or something like that. Like, find your thing. If you haven't done it in a while because, life got in the way, you got all this other shit going on, here's your chance to get back at it. right? Jump back into the stuff that you have done before and you miss, or go after stuff that you've always wanted to do. Right? This is the time. There's no more excuses. No one's going to do it for you. If you're over 40, we're halfway through. If you're over 50, we're, 60% of the way through, whatever way you want to look at it. So, time becomes a critical thing overall. So, go after it and do some of that cool stuff that you've wanted to do. And, win, lose, or draw, succeed or fail at that, really, those are the small parts. It really doesn't make the big difference overall. So if that's your fear, hey, I'm not strong enough, there'll be stronger guys. Well, you know what? There's always going to be someone stronger, and you're going to face failure and stuff. That's a natural thing, but no one fucking dies, right? It's just an irrational fear that we get and stuff. I see it a lot in the guys who get into it and they're like, oh, I'm going to compete when I can bench this or I can squat that. And I look at them and I tell them, so you know what? You'll never squat or bench that weight until you start competing, because that's what's going to push you to the next level. It's that simple overall. I haven't met anyone who hasn't competed in something that they haven't done in a long time or have always wanted to, that didn't walk away from that competition and tell me, or to themselves or whatever, that they really wish they'd have done it sooner, because it's in that realization of everything that you got out of that and how that feeling of just excitement and stuff. It's just, our lives are missing it right now. That's the biggest thing. I think we're miserable. I think we're bored. And I think we've lost the adrenaline. We've lost the excitement to go after stuff, right? And then we're afraid to do it, which is a big factor. And you know what? Sometimes we're just fucking lazy. Right? So at the end of the day, you've got to take action and you've got to say, all right, enough of this shit. Let's get up. Let's figure something out. Let's pick something and let's go about doing it. Right? And sometimes, like I said, I tell guys, just walk down the stairs of the gym. Once you walk in, we'll take care of the rest. Right? But you got to get up off your ass. There's a point where you got to stand up. We talked about it in a couple of podcasts ago about the countdown from 5, right? You know what you got to do. Your gut's telling you what the right thing is. Well, then just stand the fuck up and do it. Right? Get better at doing that overall. Typical example like we talked about is if you're laying in bed and you should get up and you're hemming and hawing, you're kind of tired and stuff like that. You know what? Just stand up. Just stand up, and you know what? It's automatic at that point, right? So the same thing here. So again, great to see that in action and in play on Saturday. It's just wonderful to be a part of it. I mean, tonight, again, for those of you using a time machine, tonight I start training for my next season of bench press. So I'm going to be competing starting in December. So here we are, last week of August. And tonight, my first workout back into getting ready for heavy training. Now, I've been training all summer long. I've been hitting the weights. I'm getting leaner and stuff like that. It's still a long way to go. It's still a work in progress. But now it's time to ramp things up. Now it's time. I picked a meet in December. We're going to jump on that. And tonight it starts. It starts in earnest because it takes me, 4 to 6 weeks to get back into that heavy groove. And then at that point, I sit down and I look at the numbers I want to hit, and I start working my programming from there. But all week I've been it's written down in my book that this Tuesday I started. Now, sitting there on Saturday watching all these guys and girls bench motivated the shit out of me, right? I'm around it. I want to be part of it. You get the adrenaline, the juices start flowing, you start to salivate a bit. It's time to jump back in. I'm looking forward to those heavy workouts, and going after that next goal. And that, to me, is exciting to have that opportunity and to have that thing that gives me focus and, passion to keep doing stuff. And then all kinds of cool shit spins off that, because you get really good at doing that. Well, the next goal gets easier and going after the next thing, and other doors open up and opportunities that would never have been there had you not just stepped up and said, hey, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to make some changes. So again, just awesome to see it in action. Awesome to see, the guys putting it out there and just going for it and stuff like that. It just excites me, and I love being a part of it. I'm proud of all those guys and girls over 40 that were rocking it and stuff like that. I think it's fantastic. We had people coming in from Sudbury. We had people, coming from the East Coast for this meet. Find your thing and make it special. It's amazing and stuff. And I wish that for every guy over 40 and 50 to find that thing, go out and get it and stuff. And it's there. You just have to start dusting a few things off and figuring some shit out. And that's all I got to say about that for today, guys. Listen, head over to iTunes. Give us a review. A 5-star review is always fantastic. Make sure you subscribe. Spread the word. Tell your friends. You need to get a hold of me, kurthaas@gmail.com. We've got a couple cool interviews that we just did. We have a couple more interviews interviews coming up. So a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe. Getting a lot of good feedback on the podcast. People telling me that they're listening to it, they enjoy it, they like the content, they like the fact they're 8 to 12 minutes on average, but then there's some bigger ones. So again, I'm out there to spread a message and to help motivate and inspire you guys to go out there and make changes and become the best rebuilt version of yourselves. Become the Silverbacks. But give me some feedback so I can have an idea where to go direction wise or what topics to cover. So with that, I'll talk to you guys later.